Okay, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to draw the plate with the holes in it. The location of this drawing in your text is written down in Angel, so you'll need to refer to that. And we'll just go ahead and get started. On my visible layer, I want to enter the rectangle command, and I'm going to use absolute coordinates, so my dynamic input is turned off. My first point of my rectangle will be 0, 0. And the reason I put it there is because we'll be using ordinate dimensioning to dimension our object when we get done. And the value of the dimensioning tool in AutoCAD is based off of the absolute coordinate system. So I want to define my first point at 0, 0. My second point will be at 90, 45. So it's 90 down the x-axis, 45 on the y. You may need to zoom in or whatever to make sure that you fill your drawing area like this. Okay, so now we'll start placing the circles. Okay, so let's start off with the A diameter circle. The hole A has a diameter of 7. There's only one of those on our drawing, and it's an absolute coordinate 6438. So 64, 38 will be the center point of our circle with a diameter of 7. So that is our first circle. Now let's add our B size with a diameter of 4.8. So our the B on the top left of the object is at absolute coordinate 5, 38, diameter 4.8. Okay, you can always use the ID command to verify your coordinates. So that's at 5, 38 as it should be, and this one should be 64, 38. Okay. So one thing I can do is just use the copy command. I don't even have to use the dynamic input. I can just use the copy command to copy this hole to the right with my polar tracking turned on, of course. So I want to copy it to the right by 67. Okay, and again, let me verify the coordinates there. It says 72, 38 as it should be. Alright, so we have two more B-size holes that we need to draw. One at 64, 11. Again with a diameter of 4.8. And let's copy that to the right by 15. And again, I'm just going to quickly verify 64, 11, 79, 11. Okay, so those look good. Now let's draw our C-size holes. Now these have a diameter of 3.6. So C, enter. I'll start off on the top row at 1938 with a diameter of 3.6. And let me copy this one to the right by 29. Again, just quickly, 1938, 4838. Okay, and then so let's draw another circle with at absolute coordinate 521. Again with a diameter of 3.6, and copy that to the right by 25. 521, 3021. Okay. By the way, if you wanted to use dynamic input and copy here, we could. The reason I'm just using copy instead of dynamic input is because we're on the, we're working down an axis here, and I can easily use polar tracking. But let's just say, let me turn on the dynamic input, and let's say that I wanted to create the circle that's right here that's the same size as this one. I can see that it is 14 units to the right on the x-axis and down 10 units along the y-axis. So, so I have my dynamic input turned on. CP, enter. So relative to the center point of this, we need to go right, which is positive along the x-axis, 14, and then down 10. So that'd be negative 10 on the y-axis. Okay. And let's just verify that coordinate. It should be absolute coordinate 1911, which it is. Okay. And then we have, let me copy one more of these C-size holes to the right here, turn off my dynamic input, and just copy that to the right by 42. So that's 72, 21, and then finally we have one D size. So, and that is an absolute coordinate 48, 6, with a diameter of 3.1. I believe 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 along, 3 along. Just quickly checking, make sure I got all the holes. Okay, so this is what the plate looks like with all the holes. Okay, so now let's apply our center marks. Okay, and based on the size of these circles, you know, we have one with a diameter of 3.1. I think we may need to adjust or at least check our settings in the dimension style manager. So type dim style and then enter. This should already be highlighted, but if it's not, select decimal and then select set current, then select decimal again and then modify. And on the symbol and arrows tab, go down to the center marks area and change, if you need to, make sure this value is 1.5. Okay, and then close, and then we can go make sure you're on the center layer, go to the annotate tab and use the center mark tool, and then go around and place your center marks. Now you'll notice that I placed those center marks in the same way and got two different results. Okay, so let me demonstrate something to you. If I take a dimension measurement from here to here, that value is 1.5, which is the value we just defined. Okay, if I go from here to here, it's 1.5, and from here to here is also 1.5. All those values are defined in the setting I just showed you. Now, when AutoCAD is trying to create a center mark, if the gap is not complete before it reaches the edge of the circle, it will not draw these outside lines. Okay, so that's what happened over here. The gap went to about right here, say, and then since the gap wasn't complete before it reached the edge of the circle, it did not draw the outside lines. All right, so just a quick explanation of that. And so let's go ahead and continue to add our center marks all the way around. You just using my space bar to do this quickly. Re-enter the command. Okay, so there's all our center marks. Now we need to dimension this object. Okay, we're going to use something called Ordinate dimensioning. And this is why we created the first point of the rectangle at absolute coordinate 0, 0, because that's our datum. Okay, all the other values, just like as shown in the figure in the book, is based off of the origin being located here. And for this tool to work in AutoCAD, it works off of the current origin. Okay, so rather than redefining the origin, which you'll learn about later, I just used the current origin, and we'll be able to assign these values because of that very easily. Okay, all right, so we need to add dimensioning. Okay, so let's go to our home tab and go to the dimension layer. All right, and